Hi guys, how are you doing? So today is Friday. Today is Wednesday, and the date is 5th. So let's go and discuss that what are the real potential trades out there, and we would be going deep into the understanding that how the setups are formed and how things look like. So it would be a great opportunity for you guys to actually analyze this. Along with that, it would be a good opportunity for me to share of this knowledge. So we do have ADP non-farm employment change that is coming at 8:15 a.m. That is New York time Eastern Standard Time, and we also have PMI services and ISM services PMI that is coming, and then we would be having the crude oil inventories along with that. Uh, and the D market is closed. So let's get into the deep understanding that what ADP actually is. ADP is actually the estimated change in number of employed people during the previous month. So it shows the employment report of the previous month, and it is actually like job creation is an important leading indicator for consumer spending. So ADP kind of like helps as a catalyst or helps as a proxy for measuring the CPI of a country. And if we see the history right here, so on Jan 8th 2025, we had that actual number were reduced. That was in the December for the December data because it estimates the number of people employed during the previous month. So seems like the data was the previous was 146 and actual was 122k. Not a big difference, but still the data wasn't that exact. And similarly, it says that the previous was 122k, and now what forecasted is 148k. This seems like the data would be coming better or good. Similarly, ISM services PMI is the level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing manager, excluding the manufacturing. So it actually shows the index that is surveyed based on the purchasing managers, and it is a leading indicator of the economic health, and businesses react quickly to the market condition, and their purchasing manager holds perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's view of the economy. So it is kind of like the businesses that they do the purchases, and that kind of like represents the surveys asked about 300 purchase managers asked for the respondent to rate the relative level of business condition, including the employment, production, new order prices, supply deliveries, and inventories. So it is basically dealing with the inventories and all the working capital that happens into the company. And this is a really important thing that above 50 indicates the industry expansion, below indicates the contraction. So another thing is that an actual is greater than forecasted. So on Jan 7th, we had this data, and we can see that the actual numbers were really good than the previous ones. So similarly, we do see a little bit of change right here from uh, just a decimal point. And secondly, like crude oil inventories is the change in the number of barrels of the crude oil held in the inventory by the commercial firms. So it is the change in the number of inventories, that the inventories which are held by the crude oil that is held by in inventories by the commercials firms. And it is kind of like while this is a US indicator, it mostly affect the loonies due to the Canadian sizable energy sector. So most of the oil in United States has been imported by the Canada, and we can see that how the things are affecting this oil thing right now. There are a lot of stories out there, and it is a primary gauge of the supply and demand imbalance in the market can lead to the production level. So we do expect from this data some kind of effect in the Canadian dollar right here. And So that's the kind of the information out here for us right now, and things seems pretty decent based on the data right here. So what I would like to do is now go into the charts, and then we can actually see that what kind of scenarios are out there building up. So this is the DXY which we are looking at. The things has been like really difficult in DXY specifically, and a tough scenario out here, and I want to like represent that what kind of tough scenario I'm talking about. So guys, there are like certain times that this was the point when this was the point when Trump actually came into the action with this candle, and you guys must be remembering that this was Monday when Trump took over, and this was a big fall from here to here, from this point to this point. This was a big fall because it was a gap. So now kind of like the chart is being updated, and they are filling up the gaps in that case, showing all of this move. We do have a certainly a legitimate gap up here that was kind of like filled by this move right here, and then this was also all of a sudden a gap that developed when the market opened. So this gap kind of like happened, you see, like at 5 p.m. New York time. So 5 p.m. New York time is the time where the market are setting to open, like a Sydney session, so it was also like a Sunday. So kind of like if it's Sunday in New York, so it seems like there would be Monday in all over around the globe. That actually represents that the idea is that the market kind of like opened with the gap. That's what I actually want to say. And we had like this big gap, and the prices actually then came back down after this big gap. It was a good reversal point around this point. Uh, and then again a gap developed here, and prices tried to like push on the upper side but failed, and prices went down. So the idea is that we do had legit gaps. There was one gap here and another gap right here. So now the charts are basically showing this gap, and I want to like check in 1 hour chart so that I can actually like show you guys. See, this is what I'm talking about. This gap has been like filled, but this gap on 1 hour hasn't been filled right now. So this was what I was actually expressing my comments about that, and it was really difficult to trade in this sort of environment. Although there were indications that I could have like sold around here, but this gap kind of like made me confused in the sense that of course when you there are like less gaps in the forex out here. So we kind of like have to wait. So this is the current scenario of the DXY right now, the same scenario which we have been like discussing. Another thing that after these gaps has been developed in the market, I've changed my charts a little bit, upgraded them, although my levels were same previously, but we have been always been discussing around this point. If you see the past streams, that prices kind of like broke out of this zone, but eventually after this point we have been like thinking about the downtrend, and we kept on thinking until the price reached to this level. It is kind of like an order block right here, or you can say that it was a breakout level and prices reached to that breakout level and then pushed back again. And if you see that here the prices started like forming a accumulation, and there was like a liquidity grab around all of this point, and then prices started moving up, and then this was a fall of a sudden breakout, and prices went came back down after that, pushed up, and right now prices are in the downtrend. So what we can actually extract from this point, it is really a state of difficult state of understanding that how things are actually looking. There's another point of view that you see right here. This was the high. Prices are unable to form a high right here. They kind of like turn around a little bit earlier rather than taking the liquidity around here. So we do have a liquidity around here, and that could be another point of analysis. And what I actually think is that this was a good amount of liquidity that was taken, liquidity grab that happened. With the push, accumulation price went down, and again prices then went up like that. So kind of like taking the liquidity around this point, and there has been liquidity around this point. So considering, guys, another level, like I just certainly like believe that prices could bounce around like here, because this level is exactly 107.500, and usually like it's a round number, you see, 107,500, and it's kind of a round number. I'm a firm believer that these round numbers are important in the sense that they do act, but we need to be aware of like what we are actually doing. And there's another thing that you see, this level, how the price broke around this point, and then again how the price actually broke around this point, and it broke around so fast that the gap actually developed, and similarly the retest exactly at this point, and prices were pushed. So it seems like a lot of like orders were induced around these levels that made like the prices to push on the upper side. Secondly, guys, the orders were even like inserted in this accumulation phase right here, that which we have discussed, but there was also fundamentals behind it, because there was a lot of topic that, like the what's trending topic is like dollar is getting stronger, that there are a lot of stuff that are being done by the country as per the tariffs. So kind of like all of these decision making are just putting a lot of effect on it. So what I currently actually believe is that prices would be coming around this point, and after that, like if it breaks on the downside or if it start accumulating around here, give us a pump like that, then we can actually like think of like moving on the upper side after that. So although what's the good news is that we do have a range, and our range has been like changed a little bit. Our range is kind of like from this point to this point right here. This is the range that we are looking at. I want to like place my fib to for your understanding that how actually it, one sec. So this is the kind of the range that we are actually looking at, and you see this was the pump, full 100% pump, and prices has been reversed around like 70% right now. And around here we do have like 786 level as well. Most of the times that we have seen the reaction around like 78.6%, and right now it's like around like 70%. So it's what it actually means that if the prices have raised towards this point to this point, so this is around like prices has been reversed. So either the sellers are super strong and can take out this move, or they can either react around this point. So it's a really important zone right here which we are looking at. And I have placed my alert right here so that we can get a better understanding of how it actually looks like. So I hope it makes sense. um, Price action needs to be unfolded further, but for now most likelihood is that the prices would be reaching around this point, and then it's around about like 38 pips move that can happen tomorrow. uh, I mean to say that would be happening around Friday, and if the prices reverse around, so we do have like a good amount of 100 pips or 118 pips range on the upper side, and then we can actually understand what's happening. So moving further, guys, USD USD CAD. So everything has been like really literally changed. If you see my previous videos, my levels are changed. So this was like this was like our range, first range that we were discussing, and after that price kind of like this was the range that we were discussing after that. And you see like this was a liquidity sweep and this was a liquidity sweep. So in Jan we were discussing all that stuff, but as the Feb started, guys, you see this was our initial alert place, which where I had to place the alert, and you see that prices just went out into that direction, kind of like really confusing, came back down, made formed this kind of candle out here. This was a good break that happened, and after that prices came back down again. All the people who were buying around this point got stopped out. Another form of liquidity that was taken. So this was a liquidity that was taken, and this was the liquidity that was taken. And after that, what you see is that the prices kind of like broke out of this structure further. And after breaking the structure, you see the prices went out really on the top around like 14800 level and 148 1.4800 level. And after that prices came back down. This is the reaction that we got, a really important reaction to be remembered. Although this order block is super big, I am not marking it right now, but you see the way it kind of like broke out. Really a good level to see that how the prices kind of like break out directly and came back direct down there. We did got a reaction around this point. It's a reaction like I want to like show you the reaction. The price went up, came back down here, and after that price kind of like pushed up, then pushed down further, and then pushed further. And after that you see prices dropped further down there like that. So this is the point actually where which we are like looking at this, and you see it was a really a complicated scenario that was actually being formed here. And what ended up happening, that prices continuously dropped to this level. After that there was a small pullback, low hanging fruit trade, and and you see what I actually want to like highlight, that this candle up above here, this one is a good signal that prices then further dropped on the downside. And right now it seems like prices would be dropping further like that. So I hope it makes sense and it is like a really detailed analysis and make you like understand that how things are looking for now onwards, guys. I just want to like show you a really important level, that is this one. Currently I'm like looking at this stuff really keenly because this is one of the most clear, legit level out here. Although the thing is that it has been mitigated, by the way. You see this candle kind of like went up and then kind of like dropped down. So but we can get a reaction from it if this is a clear supply zone in order to break it, because there is a good amount of uh, reversal that we are looking at. Secondly, what I actually want to mention is this is the level right here where I feel that prices can actually react. This is an order block right here. This is first touch, this is second touch, and now prices are kind of like coming on the downside. The reason right now here is that prices hasn't made a significant low. I want a good low structure. This type of structure right here, This type of structure right here is not able to actually push the prices on the top like that, because it's not clear enough, and it isn't enough push on the upper side. What actually I would be doing is that I would be taking this structure low, that is 793 right here, and placing the alert right here so that actually it can show us that what could be the next hand. So that's what we are actually looking at. What could be the next is not important, that what could be the next, but the most important thing is that it has been like this kind of structure, and then this kind of move, and after that this kind of like peak formation around this. So if the prices goes down, there are certain levels around here, and we can actually like see, we don't actually need to like understand that where the price can reach. If I say that price would be reaching around this zone, because this is a good break that actually happened around here, pushed back and went up. Although we can see that, and although we can determine that prices, this is the good breakout that happened, and prices can come back to this zone, I can say that. But the idea is that I wouldn't actually fully comprehend until the price comes. So whenever the price would be coming, and if it price drops around here and started giving us a reaction or give us a pullback and then continuation, we would be more interested in the structure that is actually being formed up here, rather than looking at this all price action and determining that where the price would be stopping. The price could have like literally go down there as well, because this is a good order block right in front of you, and prices can come here rather than like stopping around here. So it's better for us to wait actually, and specifically understand that a price forms a range first, so that actually we can analyze it, and then we can actually produce our decisions based on that. I hope it makes sense to you guys. Let's talk further. This is CHF, USD CHF, and we see right here that we were in a selling structure right here, and one of the most important structures which I kind of like really love is whenever the price actually goes into the range right here. It gave us a breakout after forming this range, and price kind of react around this order block first time. Although this is not a significant move, because mostly like when the things happens like that, we do expect a move on the breakdown. But you see, like we have to be like super flexible when it comes to when you are into the trading, because we have to like maneuver ourselves. And most likely if we would have taken this trade around this point, we would have like coming around here, we might have like moved our stop loss to break even. So that's basically the thing, that we did got a good reaction. Then what happened, that price kind of like broke the structure on the upper side. From this we can see in this candle, but couldn't close, and then price continued on the upper side, came back down, and again went up like that. So the really important thing right now to understand is the structure, that as you see that a price was actually like moving sideways around here, and this is the sideways structure. This is what the price actually looks like, and after that it kind of like broke out further. That actually shows a bullish scenario up above here, and then price went up. After that, price couldn't form a high, and price came back down. Price went sideways, creating this money spot up here, and gave us an indication of movement on the downside. So this is the first structure which actually price which triggered the price to move on the upper side. So that's why I've kind of like placed my alert right here. So there are like certain positions out here that might be like shown in the 1 hour time frame that we can actually understand. So we can actually look into that further details discussion. But the most important thing right now is prices has been like in a good dropping manner, and we can see from this Fibonacci that prices has even crossed like 60%, and it's like moving towards like 70% around here, and we might get a reaction around this point. But the thing is that it's really important to analyze the trend, and it has been like still a bullish trend because like prices hasn't like came and taken out this 100% level, but the significance of the bullish structure might be reduced because of this sell structure out here. And what I actually want to look is something where actually we can get our pullback reaction around. Although like on 4 hour time frame we do have the reaction around this, that we can actually expect a move to come back like that and continue on the further downside. Although this might not happen around this, might have happen around this point, and then can price can go like that. But on 1 hour time frame we we have another structure that I actually am a bit interested in, is this structure. And you see that that it isn't even like mitigated yet, and kind of like a really important structure around this point. And you even like extend it here, you see that price actually like bounced 1 time, 2 time, and third time it kind of like broke around this point. So quite legit in its own sense. Even we just mark it right here. This is the kind of like a structure which we are looking at. So it is highlighted in here that what ended up happening, that prices opened around here, went down, pushed back up, and then went down. So this kind of move actually like broke the structure around this point, and most likelihood is that if the prices push on the upper side like that, we can actually get a move on the downside further if the prices are pushed on the upper side like that. So what I want to do is I want to place my alert right there as well. I do believe this could be a highly significant trade around this point. Although usually I use one alert, but most likely this would be triggered already, so that USD JPY are really important formations that we actually look into. This is, so guys, this was the break that happened. This was the order block right here. This was the first move that happened around here like that, and after that again price went to this order block. If we extend it further right here, this is the order block, and again price went into this, price came back down, unable to form a low, pushed on the upper side further using this order block. So there are like 2 times which we have like the order block. This is first order block, and this is another order block right here that pushed the prices on the downside. So seems like we are forming a channel here as well, and you see like the pullbacks are the deep pullbacks that are happening. So this is a deep pullback, again a deep pullback, and again a deep pullback, and prices went down. So if we see it in 1 hour, I want to look at something Sure. So now it's really a point of understanding that we do have broken out of the range. We do have certain kind of like reaction points down there as well, but it's the same scenario that I want to see a legit. See, I am not here to predict where the price can actually go. If I say that price actually would be like coming here, if I would have been in the trade, I would have said these, called out these points, or like price can come there, down there, or price can even like go down like that too. But it's not my job actually to actually understand that where the price would be heading further. If I'm not in the trade, I don't care about that stuff. So what I actually need to do is that I need to actually see that if there is certainly some kind of reaction that can happen around this point like that, or around this order block, then I would be like most probably taking the positions around that. So because you see this order block around here got mitigated here, it got mitigated here, and then this order got mitigated here, order block got mitigated. So there could be a chance that we can get a reaction around this order block as well. And if we get a reaction around that, we can actually like further move towards the downside. But the most important thing is that the trend has been like in a downtrend structure like that, and prices are pushing down, and we can get a good opportunities in USD JPY because we are seeing the big moves that are being happening with the momentum. Euro USD, there's still a gap. Let me explain you. The gap is that price is opening around here, and price is price closes around this point. So this all move right here is a downside move, and after that price went up, came back down, and then pushed on the upper side. This was a kind of like a struggle that which we actually see right here. So this was the closing point, and this is basically the opening point. So this is the gap all around, and we see there's a break that happened. Then prices went up, pushed back down with this range to around by about like 100% right here. And again, the prices followed on the upper side and prices went up. This is what it is right here, guys. Marking this is even like a bit useless right now, but it's kind of useless. But we do see a good breakout on the upper side on 4-hour time frame. Let's keep it right there, and later on we can actually like alter that. US Euro GBP, it's kind of like a difficult pair in a sense that today it kind of like hit my break even. So although I was like in a little bit of profit, but it hit the break even. See, this is the move. That was a breakout that happened. So this is an order block right here that kind of like pushed the prices on the upper side. This order block was actually the reason that actually through which the breakout happened. and we see that prices kind of like went up, came back down, and then pushed on the upper side like that. That gave us this signal around this point of the price on the pushing on the upper side. Now this order block was actually, guys, detected by me in an earlier stance as the prices were coming down. I kind of like took my position there. Price went up, came back down, and stopped me out. And now price is making a formation that is quite like in a bullish format. But we do see a reaction around here. Price went up, came back down, and again price is trying to push on the upper side, but still there isn't like much of a either, guys. Like, be let me be clear in that scenario that either like it ain't gonna go like that literally, or there could be another scenario that prices go up and start coming back down, maybe around this point and around this point. Why I've marked this point? Because you see, we did got a reaction around here. This was the gap that's need to be filled, and sometimes gap also act as a reversal, and then we would be seeing. So I wouldn't be like most likely be touching this pair, because it's it's kind of like either it give me a trade in the continuation formation, or either it shows the strength. Euro Aussie, like you see like there are a lot of weird candles that are being formed, and it is really hard for a person to like actually understand them. We had this liquidity grab and prices came back down there around this point, pushed on the upper side like that, came back down there around like 70%, and then pushed back up, and now prices are coming down. Most likely this is a continuation trade that we are looking at, and prices can be pushed on the downside like that around this point. Then actually we can see, because right now it's really like a difficult position to be understood. But most important thing which I want to mention is that you see the trend was bullish around here, then it's getting sideways around here. So what it actually means is that prices are actually in a form of a negotiation, until and unless like some imbalances develop, then we can actually like analyze either the prices can break on the downside or then go on the upper side. So right now the range actually means that orders are being filled. The buyers and sellers are like shaking their hands rather than like fighting. Similar structure here. You see, like, what actually could be explained is we have been like taking pushing down. Prices went up, pushed back further down. Prices formed this probe around this point and then went down and pushed back up, taking the liquidity around this zone, came back down, pushed back down, closed out these, took the liquidity around this point, pushed on the upper side, took the liquidity around this point. So this is really important. This was the liquidity that is taken, and this is the liquidity that is taken. And right now the prices are actually in the formation of rebalancing this point, because these are the single prints that has been developed. Like, you see all the buyers, it's just like a weird candle in a sense that price opened around here, price went down, Again, price pushed on the upper side like that with the strength. So it was like initially a sell candle that actually developed on the downside and then went back up and continuously pushed on the upper side. This is the first time that prices kind of like went down, stopped around this point, and then pushed up, failed to break, came back down. So this is kind of like a weird scenario in Euro NZD. It's like EuroCAD, amazing. You see right here the prices were in an uptrend. Let me show you the bigger picture as well. We have we have been discussing all this move in our past, and this was like a downtrend, and this was like a weakness that was happening, and after that we got a uptrend move cycle on the upper trend reaching to this point. After that prices went into this accumulation stage right here. Let me make it more clear so that it's not sloppy. So prices went into this accumulation right here, and this is a really important structure in that sense that it had been like series of like losses and profits all around there, a really tough scenario, and after that eventually price broke out of the structure. And after breaking out of this structure around here, we see that price is pushed on the downside further, and at this point the prices has stopped. It's like bit difficult to like say that what we are actually looking at. If we see it in 1 hour, we can either get, so there are like two scenarios right now, that either there could be a reaction around this point or a reaction around this point. I would be much interested if we see a reaction around these levels. I wouldn't mind even like taking a trade specifically in US in the yens, because we do have that data coming out for the crude oils that can make a significant change. Although it's in euro, but overall, like globally, the Canadian dollar can be a point of interest. Secondly, this low has been like, I've detected this low in a sense that prices kind of like broke out, pulled back, and then this is the point where the push actually happened. So, and here we do have this structure. Let's actually see that how the things would go in the coming day right here. I'm using 1 hour time frame right now, but I will take you to the 4 hour time frame. Either like we can get a reaction around this point to push on the prices on the downside. Why I'm saying that, because you see right here we do have this neckline, a clear neckline around here, and this is the momentum candle that actually broke the structure. Let me like clearly define you guys. The prices came back down, prices opened around here, went on the upper side, pushed on the downside like that, and then reversed around here. Then prices opened, went up. Let me like, prices went down there, went up, and then dropped. So this is the this is the kind of the structure that develops, and If the prices went down, we can expect a move like that. It would be a good move, guys, a really solid structure. So in that case, guys, I would be really like want to actually note it down right now. That is for the 5th Feb. I want to like scroll back a little bit. I want to like see that we were interested in another one too. Not this one, not this one. We were interested in USD CHF. We are interested in USD JPY. Number 3, we are interested in Euro CAD as well. So this is Euro JPY, and although like this was the high, prices couldn't form this high, even prices rejected around this point. And here we started like looking for a reaction and similar kind of like structure, but bit difficult in a sense that this was the this was the closing price, that is opening of a new candle, and prices actually went down to this point, to this level. So this is the kind of the gap that actually developed and prices went down, opened around here, pushed back, went up, pushed back, broke out, and we see a good reaction around this water block right here. So you see, this is one of the most important move, that the order block reaction that we were actually searching around here was like hidden in here. So sometimes things happen like that. Although I will tell you like something really good, that I kind of like got this position not in euro but in another pair. So we can discuss that later on. So this is the structure that actually happened, and now it makes more sense here. What could be the next? This is this is what we actually need to like see with the time. Euro CHF, and you have been like we have been like looking at CHF in a different way, that it's a deep channel right here. Each time you see how deep the pullbacks are continuously, and kind of like broke out of this structure from this point. And after that we see that price is actually kind of like taking this point. It went down, kind of accumulating in that point, pushed on the upper side, and then gave us a move on the downside. So this is the closing price, and this is the opening price. So this was the gap, and the gap isn't fulfilled yet. Price is pushed up to this level and then kind of reversed around. So this is a small gap right here that has been, this is the gap, but prices moved on the upper side. So here we do have like this small gap around here that kind of like triggered the prices to reject around that point. But it's like super complicated right now to even like actually find a position in this. USD, GBP USD. Before we go into this, guys, I want to take a few minutes break. It might be hardly 1 minute, so bear with me. Just a sec. Stream do get a little longer, guys, but the idea is you need to understand that there is nothing much that can be done. Welcome back, guys. And we have been looking at this kind of structure on pound, that it just actually like went down like that. After that, we got a, a bullish move or a change of a trend that has begun around here. But this move, which has been like selling for quite a long, couldn't get digested by this move. Instead, we did got a reaction around here. Let's see that either it was like a good reaction around this point, or see the prices couldn't even like touch this point. And what ended up happening, that we saw that this is the closing price and this is the opening price. So this was the gap that actually developed, and then prices pushed on the upper side back and kind of like hold it around here, and then moved further, and now it's like going this small range that is being developed. What we can actually expect is nothing out of it right now. So let's see how things run. GBP Aussie, that was a good. This is one of my favorite setup that which we discussed around here. That prices, this was the low, this was the high. Prices unable to form the high. Instead, they broke the high, and from this point, the structure kind of shifted. That this was the lower, this was the higher low, and this was the higher high. After that, this was the lower high. After that, this was the high, this was the low, and this was the lower high, and this was the lower low. So it seems like the structure got shifted. So that was the setup that actually we were discussing, and this was the accumulation. After the accumulation, we got a break, price pullback, gave us a good move. This was the order block right here, and we kind of like capitalized on this structure out here. And you see right here, we got a good base in a sense that this was the first touch, second touch, and third touch, and price kind of like broke out of this zone. This is a really important point to remember, that with this kind of breakout, guys, we couldn't get a pullback, a good pullback. So I couldn't like capitalize on that because I wasn't like feeling safe. Like for example, if you kind of like enter around here, where would you be keeping your stop losses? Either you would be keeping your stop losses down there. As a retailer, guys, if you work with the retailer as a retailer account, you can't put these kind of like take these kind of trades like that. So what ended up happening eventually, that prices went up, pulled back, broke out again from this point. Prices kind of like moved back, pushed back further, and after that, we see here that prices kind of like broke on the downside further, and still unable to take this low around here. So it's kind of like a no trade zone in its own sense. And secondly, I would be placing my alert around here like that. Let's see if the price kind of like triggers this, and then we can actually see similar structure. Euro NZD, oh sorry, GBP NZD, same format. Broke consolidation around this point, broke out, gave us a pin bar, an order block, moved down the range that developed. Prices gave up, small pullback, and then broke out on the upper structure like that. At least it gave us a small pullback. Prices came back down to this order block, and after that prices pumped up further. And you see right here we did caught a reaction, and again the price is pushing on the downside like that. So let's see how the price actually like reacts around this point in this weekly close. But it's kind of like on the verge of a bullish move, because you see this break, this break, and now it's kind of like getting a deeper pullback right now. Hopefully, if the price is able to break this point, we can get a reaction, or then like prices can go further down until unless it make a good low, because this is not a good low in its own sense. You see, like this is the low that actually like triggers up the move. This is the low right here, but this is the low, but this is not. Although like this, some people say that three touches are the strong one, but let's see how things happen when prices reaches around this point. GBP CAD. So this is really like amazing structure right here. This was the low, this was the high. Prices unable to like went into the range and then further broke out, breaking out, pushed on the upper side, reacted around the order block, pushed the move on the downside. This was also a good opportunity right here. Prices went down, and after that, guys, like it was like a channel around here. Orders were being built up. Prices pushed on the upper side, and just me give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna like see something. So what ended up happening that prices reached around this point along with this structure around here, and then we did caught a breakout reaction around here, and this kind of difficult move that happened and price went up, and after that we are getting a structure that has been like coming down. This price is currently at a good position, and I don't know what to expect further. Like let's see that how actually, because why I'm saying like it is at a good point is that this is basically the swing, and if you kind of like see it in daily level right there, this was the kind of swing that actually like broke out, and prices pushed further up, and like it make a big candle that is being like now coming on the downside. So the idea is that if this is a initiation of a sell structure around this candle based on this move, we can expect if a pullback, then we can expect a continuation on the downside, or either like it can go back up like that. So it is like really difficult in a sense to say anything much probable, but let us please keep our, this is another other point like that. Let us like look into, for the last time, let us look into the 1 hour structure so that we can actually see. We do see a good breakout around this level, this which is not mitigated right now, and this level as well, and this level as well. kind of like much interested in here. It's quite not mitigated. So this is what it looks like right now, and we did got a reaction around this level as well. Bit interested, not highly recommending this level. This level could be a high recommendation level for me, but if the high is 64, 51, and 70. Right here, guys. This is what we are looking at. So if we, that's for sure that it's kind of like breaking this zone around here. This is another order block right here. I think we should even like place our levels around that. This is important structure in a sense that kind of like triggered this big move. This is how we are looking at the structure right now, although the levels are enhanced, but simply we can get a reaction around that. Let's see how it goes, guys. These are the certain levels. Levels are really good, guys, and really loving it. I want to like keep an eye on this as well. Let's see how the prices actually reacts around this level. If it goes this level to this level, there could be a rejection on the downside as well. And if the prices come back down there, see, there are four opportunities. I want to like see that what's the reaction around here. And secondly, guys, the thing is that if this is a selling momentum, we can get a move around this point. This could be a bit short trade around here. And if the prices kind of like break around here, then we can expect a move on the further upside like that, because this was the good order block. Why this is good order block, you see right here how big the reaction is. So these are the certain scenarios in GBP CAD right now. Quite happy with the levels right now which I've marked. It's a scary beer, guys. It's a really scary beer. I kind of like get scared when I kind of like touch the yens. So let me see one thing. Yeah. So guys, what actually happened yesterday, I kind of like got stuck in this trade around here. Looking at this order block, we got a reaction around this point, and after getting this kind of reaction around this, I was like quite in the form of like creating the selling move towards the downside, and all of this big candle developed. And peers, if you guys understand and trade this yens, these yens kind of like have a small pip value in here, and you see this candle is around about 136 pips, and 136 pips, and holding this trade towards like, if you're holding it in negative, it's like an immense drawdown in that case. So what ended up happening, that prices went up, and my trade was like placed around here, and this kind of move that happened kind of like shook me to the core. And Eventually, like price came back down here or around here. I kind of like closed my position in a loss, but that wasn't as significant as the prices were up here. And then I kind of like moved on from this trade and shut my computer down. And you see right here, we did got a reaction, and now price has pushed on the downside. So let's discuss that, how we can actually take a benefit out of it. So in this case, that prices are on the downtrend, pushed up, and the most important thing is that this is the opening, this is the closing of the price, and this is the opening of the price. Prices kind of like went down, made a structure, broke the structure on the higher side. This is a 3 bar play pattern like that, which we can see up here. And then prices went sideways and broke on the downside, and now we are getting a reaction around this. So most important levels for us currently is this one. This is the level that actually I'm much more interested right now, that how things would be looking if we look at 1 hour structure as well. There is not any significant point. If this is like a good sell, we can see that here we had like a neckline around here, and if we see like 15 minutes, we do have an FTR level around here. FTR means like first time rejection level. That can actually act around here, and prices can continue up till there. But it all depends upon a scenario, guys, because as you go deeper, you can get more trading opportunities, and I don't want to go that deep either. But what I actually found out that this is kind of like a level around here that can actually like act and react. Let's see. Moving further, guys, to the Swiss GBP Swiss. It's kind of like complicated and like stuck in the middle around here, so we have to wait until the price comes around here or goes back up there. We have to wait for a time, certain time, to price to unfold. And now we are back to the Aussies. So Aussies has been like in a structural downtrend, and you see right here, this has been like a big downtrend structure which we can actually look at. And this is a really really important level, guys. This is a good amount of liquidity grab that happened, and it is an insane move on the downside. After that, this is a liquidity grab, and this is a good amount, good formation of low. I'm really interested in this low, that it can hold on. And now prices has been like pushing up after breaking out of certain levels around here, and prices can go like that on the upper side further. For me, guys, right now, I would be considering this as a level for a while. If the price is kind of like pulls back, I would be interested to see what happens here. And if the price kind of like give us a reaction around here, we can actually like plan our short trade as well. Or if in case unable to form a high, we can expect a move on the downside. This could be our first target. And if the price is kind of like broke up, then we can actually like see the move on the upper side. Kind of like an underdeveloped trade right now, but has a significant potential. AUD and ZD. This was like our structural break that happened, and this is where we got the reaction. And secondly, guys, like bit curious that how the price would be reacting if we kind of like subdivide this structure around here. So as a subdivision, I would be really keenly interested that how price kind of like reacts around here. But overall, like guys, you see this is a kind of structure which we are looking at. Prices in a downtrend going sideways like that, and we did got a reaction around here. Hmm. This is it, guys. In there, AUD CAD. Really keenly interested in this, guys. The structure seems really good, and a good swing structures that has been like out there. You see, this is a good swing. This is a good swing. This is a good swing. Really important, this consolidation right here, a probe, and after that reaction through this order block, price went back down again, like accumulation right here. I hope that makes sense in the previous structure, but on the coming level, what end up happening that price kind of like took control for pushing it on the higher side, broke this level, reaction around this order block, and this is a good amount of liquidity trap or crap that happened. And then we see that price came back down, went up, broke the structure. That's the structure break, and now price is going on the upper side. I can see this is a good order block right here, which is not mitigated yet. Guys, the formation for the CADs are specifically being developed. We have seen in Euro Pound as well as in Aussie right now, and can be a good potential opportunity right here. We do see this structure. I want to like see. Yeah, we do see this level around here. The high is 989.811, 9.811. I'm just like placing my alert around here. Let's see that this is what actually like you see right here. Prices are, this was the high that was formed from this structure around here. And if you see like this is the high, like let's consider like in a simple structural form that this was the high, this was the low, this was the high, and then prices kind of like couldn't form the high further. Instead, they came back down, took out this liquidity around here, and if this is the cell structure that has been developed, guys, so this was the high, and prices couldn't form the high. Let's consider it like that. This is the low point, and this is the high point. Prices couldn't even like develop a proper high around here and got rejected. And after the rejection, prices went down like that. So let's see, either we get a reaction around here, we get a reaction around there. Most probably like we can get a reaction around there. It would be a good, and then we can actually like see on the downside further. I hope it makes sense to you guys. Although we are getting a good reaction right now, but we have to see that it should be in the continuation, and we see that the continuation is on the downside. So this move like even gave us a good indication of like price pushing on the downside and stopping out everybody that was kind of like shorting around here, shorting around here, or shorting around there. It kind of like stretches them out with these kind of moves. But let's see how things are. It really depends upon your levels when to actually react. So I would be kind of like writing this AUD CAD as well. And here we see the yens. Right here we had a break and prices went up, accumulation, continuation on the downside, and then we can see a weird structure here. Doesn't make any kind of like good amount of sense, but this was actually a range right here. It kind of like a Wyckoff one, like a test, and then another cell structure that actually develops and the price pushed on the downside. This is a small accumulation. After that, we got a reaction around this point. This is the closing price around here, and this is the opening. This is the gap that actually developed, and now prices went up, pushed back down, pushing on the upper side further, kind of like faced a rejection, and now we are getting a reaction around here. Nothing much in this regard, but so this was the close, this was the open, the gap kind of like filled fully. Prices went down, trying to push on the upper side, got rejected. Couldn't even like reach to the neck level, instead getting the reaction beforehand. Let's place a line above here and let's see that how the reaction gonna happen. But I feel like it's not as clear right now. It would be of course difficult to actually see. Let's see how prices reacts around that level. It's a difficult sideways range. Range here. Went back down, pushed back, again retested this level, went down around about 100%, push, pull back, and so you see right here, this is a channel that has been developed up till this point. After that, we can see a reaction around here. Exactly, this is an order block, but this was the first push. The liquidity grab happened around here. Again, prices went down, and now prices along the sideways right now. Let's place our level around here. Let's see how the reaction happens around here, and then we can actually like see. Although it's kind of like inverse head and shoulder pattern that is being formed right here. NZD USD. Guys, I need half a minute break, 30-second break. So welcome back, guys. And this was the same structure as Aussie right now, and this is the kind of a low that we were looking at. The flow has formed, a liquidity grab has been taken, and now prices are pushing on the upper side. Let's see how the reaction happens around here. And quickly, like looking at this stuff is, I wanna like we don't have much of a choice, guys. Frankly speaking, in these pairs. Just a sec. We don't have much of a choice because on the bigger picture, we can see that this has been the range all over, and like if it's break, it can go on the upper side. I believe that, but that's an analysis. But be to enter into a trade, you have to be like more specific than what your analysis is. So I understand the stream is getting long, but you tell me, guys, like what should I do if the stream is getting longer? This you can see how complicated right now the situation is. So there's nothing that actually I can be sure about. So this is what actually the things are looking like. Amazing setup, guys. This is beautiful, and it's really beautiful, and it's a big break, guys. It's kind of like a classical setup out here, and you see that this has been like taken out. Everything has been cleared. This is cleared, and people who just like, this is a breakout that happened around here. It is being cleared, and prices are pushing on the upper side back, and prices still has to be like enter into this range above here. We did got a reaction around this level. This is the reaction, guys. So there could be like two scenarios out here, guys. Really important. Another thing is that there are three scenarios out here. Number one is that if the trend has been like shifted on the downside, pushed back, went up, broke the structure, came back down, broke the structure here, broke the structure right here, and then went back down. So number one thing is that either we can get a reaction around here and forming a double bottom around here. We can expect a reaction around here as well, and then we can expect a reaction around like that as well. So it is really amazing to see this kind of move, and in NY session we can actually like get hold of our position as well. Highly likelihood in this setup. CADs are performing amazing, guys. The setups are being developed, but we need to actually wait and analyze about it. I'm like more interested in this one right now. JPY, we got a reaction around here with this order block, and price is now pushing on the downside, but we are getting a reaction around here for now. Let's place our level around here for a while, and we can like later on see that how it reacted. We did got okay, this is a peak formation right here. Prices broke out. We got a reaction around here with this order block. Prices went down, and right now they are pushing on the upper side. We might get a reaction again, and it might even break this level, but this could be our first target as well. And if we get a reaction around this point, we can actually expect either a break on the upper side, or and if we start getting a reaction around here for the sell structure, we can actually expect a move on the downside, and this could be the first target. I don't want to mark this one, but I'm like more interested on the upper side move, upper target, but let's see how this actually forms around, because why I'm quite interested all of a sudden in it is that you see this has been like a good chunk of break of structure on the downside, and price pushed on the upper side first time, and now it's coming on the second time, and we do have this kind of range that actually like good amount of liquidity grab that happened around here for the people who were like kind of like selling around here. So let's see how the formation occurs. I would like to see how things react for NZD, CHF, although it's like holiday for them, but Of course, the market would react around the certain levels. CAD JPY, guys, I want to like show you that Canadian dollar has been like in a form of a channel continuously selling and came back down. This is the open closing price, and this is the opening price. This is the opening price right here. This was the gap that has been developed. Price went up, came back down, went up. Right now it's like a bit complicated. Here we are getting a reaction. This is kind of reaction which we're getting. Let's see how the price actually kind of reacts around here. Let's see it in 1 hour as well. This was the breakout and order block right above here. Although the price kind of like reacted further rather than like touching this order block, it reacted around here. Small move on the downside, small move on the downside, small move on the downside, break of the structure around here. And after this kind of move that happened, we saw a reaction around here. Then again, price reached to that level, formed this low around here. Couldn't like even touch this level and started pushing on the upper side, and then gave us a reaction after that. Let's see, guys, that how things would be showing the move. Let's wait for the cards to be unfolded for a while, and really interested in this reaction as well that happens around here. This is a good break of structure that we can actually like see around here. It's not even portrayed on the higher time frame, but sometimes like these small levels actually are the main indicator and the source of the moves. This is how we are looking at. Okay, CAD CHF. Prices came back down here. The formation is now right here. This is a formation that which we are looking at, and the structure is not clear. There was like good push on the upper side, push on the downside, liquidity grab. After that, price started going into the range from this point to this point, broke out further, pulled back, went down. I don't know, guys. There's nothing to like actually. This is like, and this is where this is the gap. Prices went up. This is the current level which you're looking at, and on the daily time frame you see that after this big move, price is kind of like giving a certain kind of reaction that It's like a second day that was the first red day here, and now it's a second red day that is being developed. On a higher time frame, it is more suitable for a while, but the important thing is that we did got a break at this point, and this is the order block right here that is in function right now. That is kind of like working. It makes more sense now that this order block is kind of like reacting around here. It could be a potential setup, guys, that this order block could be a potential setup. And um, let, let's see if it's like uh, if we mark it like that, we had gotten a reaction around here. This is the first reaction, this is second reaction, and now the prices went up and kind of like accumulating around here. Let's see later on that how it actually reacts. So I want to like turn off the borders so that um, we can actually see the candles as well. So let's keep it like that. And secondly, this is a breakout move that happened, and in case if this order block works, we can expect some kind of changes around this block as well. This is the structure which we're looking at, and we can expect certain kind of reaction around there as well. Let's see if the price is kind of like act around this zone. Either they're gonna break above it, and if it does so, I want to place my alert right here. It could be a good potential setup as well. And now this. So guys, this was the trade that I actually took. It was kind of a bullseye today. Gave us a good run on the downside. I want to like I can actually present this trade towards you guys that this is the trade, guys, that actually I took, and this setup was like based on the idea that the prices went into the consolidation right here. Then this was a breakout that happened, and this was the order block that formed. Prices kind of like touched first time this pin bar reaction, did this doji and kind of like gave us a move, and eventually I was able to lock this kind of move around here, and it's still a good risk to reward, and prices then went further on the downside. So now we are looking at this reaction, that how things are reacting around here is clear in this sense, and I want to keep this right here, but I can even like place it above here so that we can see that if the prices reaches to this level, how could be the reaction is. And yeah, let's keep it like that, guys, and see that how the reaction is. So this was the last pair, guys, that we have discussed, and it's the stream should be over now. It took quite long. It was a deep analysis, guys. Like, uh, I hope it would help you guys. And there are like a lot of setups which we actually worked on. USD CHF is a good setup. USD JPY is a good setup. Euro CAD is a good setup. GBP CAD is a good setup. AUD CAD is a good setup. NZD CAD is a good setup. And NZD CHF is a good setup. And CAD CHF is a good setup. So these are the setups which we kind of like found out from these streams. And I hope you guys would work with the proper risk management, keeping everything under control, because markets are tough these days. So you have to be like really super careful. Take care, guys.